people, 596 of them involved in the religion business, 230 of them police officers, 70 politicians, more than three-quarters of those Republican politicians. I'm talking, of course, about people who have made the news in the past 52 weeks for sexual assaults on children. The single most unifying characteristic among all of them, men, well over 90%. Now, this project began in response to the nonstop right-wing religious and Republican ranting about groomers. Democrats were accused, drag queens were accused, transgender people were accused. So I started tracking the actual cases, even set up a website to make that data public and transparent. And what the data actually says, the accusations about transgender people and drag queens are pure disinformation, an attempt to point people away from the real perpetrators of the crimes. Out of the 7,549 names added to the database in the past 52 weeks, exactly one has been a drag queen. 4 have been transgender. That is barely 0.05% of the cases, from a group that makes up more than 1.5% of the United States population. On a per capita basis, the states with the highest incidence in the database, 9 out of 10 are Republican-controlled top to bottom. South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, West Virginia, and Wyoming, all places where Republicans have been pushing anti-transgender legislation, claiming it's to protect children, and doing nothing about the fact that their states are where the number of actual crimes against children are the highest per capita, by far. In actual numbers of attacks, Texas has 200 more names in the database than the next highest state. Florida is number 3, Ohio number 6, followed by Indiana, Missouri, and North Carolina. This past week, 249 new names added, and transgender people did make the news as victims of the assaults. A man in Baltimore was actually accused of picking his victims by online app, going after transgender women exclusively. All of the data has been and remains open for inspection by anyone at whoismakingnews.com. Now, we know that not all cases make the news, not even close. But we've seen that if there's even a hint of involvement by a pastor, a priest, a cop, a teacher, or anyone transgender or a drag queen, that will make headlines. So, there it is. What am I going to do now? I'm going to keep updating for a short period at least, because the collection in the early weeks really wasn't as robust as later, when I learned a bit more about how to find more of the cases. But if anyone starts yapping about Democrats, drag queens, and transgender people, this data will stand as the facts that just don't care about their feelings. 1 year, 7,549 people, 596 of them involved in the religion business, 230 of them police officers, 70 politicians, more than three-quarters of those Republicans.